What's your name and where you from?
Sid, and from Lake Charles, Louisiana. Louisiana, for those who don't get the joke.
You came here yesterday
Yeah.
for an EDM fest?
Well, my friends came for the EDM Fest. I came because this is my favorite city.
What do you like about New Orleans?
There's a certain, like, artistic fulfillment that I see here. And art's, like, the thing I care the most about. The architecture's gorgeous. There's always lovely people around. The partying's great.
Did you party last night?
A little bit. Not like I usually would have, but, more than I expected.
Well,
And free alcohol is always good alcohol.
I wouldn't have invited to that party. The free alcohol party. So this was your first night, one of your first times sleeping on the streets?
Technically second, first time in New Orleans.
Okay. How'd it go?
A lot better than expected.
Yeah?
Yeah, I was mentally prepared for it to be kind of rough. But I actually met some, like, really nice people, and they gave me a lot of advice and help.
What'd they tell you?
They told me about some of the like, help around the area. There's, like, a place, I can't remember where it's at, that does, like, clothes stuff and, like, would let you take a shower. Then some guy was talking about some of the, like, food deals that restaurants sometimes do and whatnot. And a few different places I could crash.
So you didn't sleep on a shelter though, did you?
Did not. Went and found some spot that was behind some stairs. It's kind of a nice little nook.
It's pretty nice weather to be sleeping on the streets. It's
Yeah,
like pretty ideal.
Definitely a lot better than, like, it could be.
Yeah.
I was a little unprepared for this one. Otherwise, I would have, like, a blanket. But no, just got clothes.
So how long are you staying in New Orleans?
Probably gonna be heading out tomorrow. Well, at least that's the plan. But yeah, just a small little 3-day trip.
So how many people have you met on the streets?
Let's see. Between today and tonight, like 7.
7? Okay. Who do you remember most?
Most of them were pretty cool people. One guy seemed kind of shady, but, like, he was cool. Very helpful and, like, caring.
I heard there was a big police sweep the other day where they rounded up, like, a bunch of homeless people.
Yeah, I didn't.
You didn't? I think it was further down around Frenchman Street. Okay, man, we're back.
All right.
Okay, I don't really know when your mic cut out, so I think
Neither
we were talking.
do I.
I think we were talking. We'll start back where you said your mom was pretty cool with you, kind of going around because she was really into punk rock.
Yeah.
And ran away from home when she was young.
Yeah. so she and her friend, like, they just said fuck it, left after school one day and just took off.
Like high school? Like high school?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I don't have a lot of the best memory, but but yeah, she did a bunch of crazy shit and like has always been my biggest inspiration in life.
That's cool, man. You know, it's corny, but that's like, what more can you want than having your parents inspire you?
She's also like the best parent I've ever seen so far, and like, I don't mean to like boast because she's my mom or anything, but like in comparison to how I see a lot of my friends' parents, I feel like she has a stronger grasp on what a parent is and should be.
Yeah.
And I'm extremely lucky for that. She's the reason I have anywhere near the level of good in my heart that I do.
You said the level of good in your heart? Yeah. So she got you into punk rock?
Yeah. And other stuff, but like punk rock's what our core is.
Which one?
Punk rock's what our core
of
who we are is.
So what's what were you saying your favorite punk rock band was?
Oh, they're a bit newer, but FIDLAR, which their name stands for Fuck It Dog, Life's a Risk.
That sounds really like a California band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like local skater lingo.
Oh, okay. FIDLAR, that's cool.
But yeah, their music's mostly about like skateboarding, smoking weed, and depression.
That's cool. Well, I mean, depression's not cool, but it's a cool concept.
Not necessarily punk rock. My other tied favorite artist is this girl called Kflaye, and she raps.
What's one of her songs?
Oh, fuck. There's So What, that's a favorite. No Duh's a favorite. I think she actually recently came out with a new song called Bad Trip. But she like isn't strictly rap. Like she like plays around with her sound a lot, and it's pretty cool. I actually listen to pretty much all music, and I know there's a lot of people that say that just because they listen to anything, but no, I really do. I've spent a lot of time diving into music and exploring genres and subgenres, and my typical opinion is that every genre will have something of worth.
Yeah, man, I definitely agree. I love just like, man, I love everything from like country to like death metal to like opera. So tonight's gonna be your third night on the streets?
Yes.
Okay. Are you gonna prepare? Or like, I don't know. Do you need to like go to a shelter before it closes? Or?
Actually, made a friend who has a Uhual, and I'm probably gonna crash in that.
You what?
A Uhual. That's what they're sleeping in, and I've been offered to join them.
Really?
Yeah, so
That's cool.
that's probably what I'll do tonight.
Are they like more like flat-footers or gutter punks or just like homeless people or what?
Just some nice homeless people.
Okay, cool. So do you have any brothers or sisters?
Technically. I was raised an only child, but I have an older half-sister and a younger half-brother.
Okay.
Have barely seen either of them. The half-sister, I actually met her for the first time in high school. And my half-brother lives in Florida.
Have you seen any like drugs on the streets?
Not this time, but typically almost every time I come to New Orleans, yeah. They're pretty rampant here.
Like what?
Let's see. I know I've seen weed several times, but weed's like everywhere.
Yeah.
I did have some random dude walk up and was just like, cocaine? I didn't take it, of course, but what else have I heard people talk about? I know there's probably definitely ecstasy around. Since there's the like EDM thing going on, there's probably psychedelics.
There's probably a lot of X there. What's like the next 6 months hold for you? What are your plans?
The next 6 months, I'm going to get more seriously prepared for traveling, and actually start traveling.
Where are you trying to go?
All over. My current roadmap is Austin, Texas, followed by Albuquerque, New Mexico, Vegas, and then California. From there, wherever the wind goes, at some point I'm going to work my way to Florida and New York.
That's cool. How are you going to travel?
So previously I mostly went by bus, starting to walk more, and I have a few friends in a few different places, and I'll probably hitch rides with them. At some point, probably going to hitchhike.
But you haven't hitchhiked yet?
Not fully. I've done some like small in-town, as in like back home, hitchhiking, but that's just like, you know, from like
local?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ridden any trains?
No. I'm a little. The concept scares me a little. But I've always loved the idea of trains. My hope for that one is to find a friend who does train hopping and learn from him.
Learn the ropes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do a lot of things just jumping in head first, but I think that's one I'd want to be a little prepared for.
Yeah. I agree, man. I think riding trains is cool, but you know, man, that thing can kill you pretty easily.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The other main. So once all of my up in the air plans play out and likely fall through or lead to other things that will eventually fall through, my plan. Me and my mom are friends with these guys. And they have a store called Rockin Rods. They actually travel to a bunch of different state fairs selling rock and roll merchandise. And if I get in a bind, I'll probably go work for them. Also, once I find the right time and place, I'm gonna go and work at a bunch of different of the Renaissance festivals.
Dude, those are awesome, man.
Yeah, those are probably my favorite.
Yeah.
I also plan to go to a bunch of different like hippie and electronic festivals. I know a lot of those you can like volunteer to get in free or cheap. So between working those and all that, my hope is that I'll actually end up opening up my own store and use that to travel to different festivals.
What type of store you want to open?
I actually have 2 stores that I plan, but the first one is it'd be like a witch store, and I'd make jewelry and wands and rocks and whatnot.
Did you make the jewelry you're wearing?
I actually did the one with the rocks on it.
Put it a little up this way. Yeah, those are cool, man.
Yeah, they're not. I mean, like a lot better than I'd expect them to come out. It was like one of my first necklaces.
Really?
But
That's
yeah.
solid.
I had help with my mom on this one, but yeah, all I got to do is practice.
What do you like about like witchcraft, Renaissance festivals? What do you like about that world?
There's an energy to them that like makes me feel correct. One of my favorite things to say about myself is I'm an extrovert trapped in an introvert's body, and festivals are kind of one of the few places where I can just be me and exist as who I want to be. I love meeting people. I love making friends. And there's kind of like a spiritual aspect for me.
It's like a level of like enchantment that the regular world doesn't have.
Yeah, and it feels alive. Also music. I've always been passionately attached to the way music makes me feel. Sadly, I'm not a musician. But yeah, music's always helped me cope with a lot of things. Though humor's probably my biggest coping mechanism.
You said you were working on a webcomic?
Oh yeah, I plan to do lots of webcomics actually.
Well, what's it called?
So I have 2 currently. The first one is called Stoners with Blank, and it was just going to be about some stoners, and eventually their life was going to turn into crazy adventure.
Okay.
It's kind of like slice of life-esque.
Have you made it, or are you working on it?
Starting it.
Okay. I was about to say, like, let us know where you can find it.
Yeah, I know I plan to put some stuff on Tumblr, if that's still around, when I finally make it. So what happened was, I came up with this comic, and me and my friends are all working on it. The original intent behind it was to use it as a learning tool to get better at making comics. But then we got really attached to it and started caring about it because we really like what we came up with. So that's led to me starting a second comic, even though it's being done first. and that one's called Wierdumb. The name is a play on the word kingdom.
Okay. Like a weird kingdom?
Yeah,
okay.
It's weird and dumb.
Okay.
And it's kind of just essentially a place where we can dump all of our weird and dumb ideas.
That's cool.
Just kind of as an excuse to force us to actually make stuff instead of being like, oh fuck, this idea is too good for our untalented hands to touch.
So do you have any like sample stories you want to talk about? I'd love to hear about one.
Okay, so the one I've got the furthest so far is a romantic one. It's actually a 3-person relationship. There's a ghost, a zombie, and a skeleton, and they're all dating each other.
Okay.
I actually plan to have a hidden lore fact about it, because the ghost would represent soul. The zombie would represent body, and the skeleton would represent mind. And the backstory behind them is that they're actually all the same person.
Oh, shit. Like struggling against each other?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. It started kind of because I saw this post where like somebody talked about like drunk them dating themselves and like leaving presents for sober them, and I was like, damn, I am the best relationship I'm in, and I really like the idea of dating myself. And I figured it'd be a good, basis for a comic.
That's pretty neat. Who's your favorite comic artist?
Shit, what's her name?
Shit, man, I'm bad with names too.
I don't remember her name, but she has this small little comic called Terrible, 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 and it's about punk rock animals.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
It has one of my most favorite characters. Is her name Lauren? But it's a punk possum, and I almost because of her comic, but also just kind of possums in general are one of my favorite animals. I think they're really cute despite being really ugly, and I feel like they're one of the best representations of like a punk rock animal. The next thing I'm going to say has a variety of opinions.
Ooh, you got something contentious for us?
Ish.
Let's hear it.
The next favorite webcomic is Homestuck. Not a lot of people. Well, there's a weird mix of a lot of people knowing about it and a lot of people not knowing about it. So the other major event type that I plan to go to is like nerd conventions and
like Comic-Con, Dragon Con. Oh man, I love Dragon Con.
Homestuck is a section of people that attend those, and they have oftentimes been regarded as one of the worst fandoms.
The worst what?
Fandoms. It's a term the nerd communities use for when they're fans of a thing.
Yeah. What's their? You know furries?
Yes.
Do they have like a fan base as bad as furries, or like?
Different.
Okay, how so? Like, what do they do?
So like, buckets are a thing in the comic.
What is it?
Buckets.
What are buckets? What do you mean?
So there's an alien species in the comic.
Okay, let it rip, man.
And buckets are part of their reproductive system.
Okay.
Some people in the fandom are like unregulated youth who scream things like fuck ass and throw buckets at people.
So the fan base does that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see why they're hated.
They also yell a lot and talk about how Homestuck's one of the greatest things ever. And they have a reputation for trying to get everyone to read it, and a lot of people don't react well to that. And then they just kind of keep trying to get those people to read it. It's almost cult-like.
They're like the CrossFitters of the comic book world.
Yeah. But it is actually a really great comic for how shitty it is. And it touched me.
That's cool. Now I'm gonna check it out. No, I said I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah. It's really long.
Really? Like, whoa, how long?
Like
Naruto long, or?
The web count page is like 9,000.
9,000 issues?
9,000 pages.
Okay.
And pages have decent bits of text. There's also some like flash games and like animations.
Shit.
Yeah, it goes all over the place.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Hey, anything you want to like say to the world or say to your family?
I love all of you. Y'all deserve better. Also, one day I'm gonna take over the world.
Shit.
You heard it here.